Welcome back to another episode of my vlog where I share little bits and pieces from my musical life. My name is Michelle Manette, and I am a guitarist, a singer-songwriter, and an educator. And this week, I want to talk about why I don't use AI when I write songs. And actually, I don't use AI at all, so I really have no experience using it in any area of my life. And part of this is just because I'm pretty slow to adopt new technology, especially when what I'm already doing works perfectly fine. So, I want to keep an open mind. I do value curiosity, and should there ever be some good reason to bring it into my experience in some way, then I'll definitely do that. But I don't think it's ever going to touch my songwriting. And there are actually three main reasons, or three main categories of reasons why that is. So as I've been thinking about this topic this week, I had so many different things go through my mind about what songwriting means to me and why I love it so much and why I value it so highly. And I'm going to be going into more detail on the blog post that I'm writing about it. I will put links down in the description if you're interested in reading further. But as I was reflecting, I realized that each of the thoughts that I had could be organized into a specific category. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a general overview of each category. I want to keep these vlogs, fairly short, fairly digestible. So without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, so the first reason why I don't use AI as a songwriter is because of the experience. I love the songwriting experience. Out of all the things I do musically, it would have to be my favorite. And I love everything I do with music. I love singing and playing guitar and playing any of the other instruments that I enjoy playing and teaching and all of that. But the thing that lights me up the most is songwriting. And part of that has to do with the process. I love the moment when I first have an idea and I can feel that spark of potential in it. I have no idea where it's going to go specifically, but I can just tell there's something there. And then I love the process of sitting down and exploring it and developing it and adding things and trying things and experimenting and getting a better idea of what the song is asking from me. And then I love getting to a point where a song is, fleshed out enough that it feels like a song. And when I think in terms of using AI for music, aside from somebody who uses it to just generate an entire song, I'm talking more specifically about if somebody's using it to help them with the songwriting process. My best guess would be that it would have to do with wanting to reduce the amount of time it takes to write the song, and also taking some of the challenges away. So because there are so many different moving pieces when it comes to writing a song, you're inevitably going to have parts where you struggle with more. Like for me, lyric writing is the part that is the most challenging and tends to take the most time. But that's also what makes it so satisfying to me. It's actually maybe one of my favorite parts of writing a song is the lyric writing, because when a lyric just clicks into place, that's an amazing feeling, especially if I've been wrestling with it for a while. So I don't feel the need to reduce the amount of time it takes to write a song because, as I said, I love writing songs. So I don't want to speed up the process and get to the end sooner. Maybe I would feel differently if I was writing music and I had a deadline. Maybe I have, if I had a client I had to get a piece of music done for, maybe my mentality would be different. But I write songs for myself and I'm not currently making any income from my song. So it's just something I do purely for myself and for my own growth. So I'm not in a hurry to get a song done, because once a song is done, I never get to write that song again. And each song has a unique songwriting experience. I mean, even though my process is fairly consistent, there are little intricacies that are specific to each song. So that was number one. I love the experience, and I don't want to outsource any of that experience to AI. Reason number two has to do with the transformation that I experience from writing a song. So the process of having an idea and working it through to some kind of end, it's going to call parts of me forward that maybe I haven't explored before. It's going to ask me to try, something I've never done before, or to take something I already do and stretch it to another level of my ability. And I think it's really amazing that I can get that experience of growth through my own music. So it helps me to improve my proficiency, my musicianship, and of course my artistry. These are what I call the 3 areas of musical growth. And writing songs does all of that. And learning other people's songs does that as well. But again, the fact that it's my own creation, it's my own inspiration that is calling me forward into almost like the next stage of my musicianhood, that's a really wonderful thing, I think. And it's also such a wonderful way for me to take everything that I've practiced, everything I've learned, everything I've listened to, and to integrate and explore it and internalize it. It's a form of play as much as it is a form of practice, because I get to take ownership of all of these things that I've been doing. And the play part is that, again, it's fun. I'm exploring, I'm experimenting, I don't have any specific outcome in mind. I'm just sort of seeing where the song takes me. But at the same time, I am having to practice maybe to record a certain part. Or, right now with one of the songs I wrote earlier this year, it's a bit of a challenge for me to sing vocally. And so I've been practicing it. That's actually a part of my active vocal routine right now, is working on this song that I wrote. And that's really fun. And as I'm getting better and better and better at it, I feel this appreciation for having taken the time to do that, and that my song asked me to reach for more vocally. So there's reason number 2, the transformation. And the final reason has to do with the songs themselves. I feel a connection to my songs that is partially driven by the experience of writing. So I always carry a memory of the experience. But my songs can also reflect to me parts of myself I might not have been ready to see, or I maybe wasn't even aware of. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that I am involved in every part of that process. Every lyric that I write, it comes from me. And every note, every melody line, every guitar part, everything, it all comes from a well inside of me and comes together to create almost like a snapshot of where I am in my life at that time, musically and also as a person. And again, also can kind of project me a little bit into the future in terms of the song having asked me to be more than I was previously. So I have a really deep connection with my own songs. And part of that has to do with that process. And I don't know that I could listen to one of my songs the same way if I knew that I had outsourced a part of it to AI. That just does not feel like it would be the same thing. And I feel like my songs would be lesser than because of it, lesser than they could have been. Because also it's a relationship. I have a relationship with these songs. That relationship developed because I took the time to really listen to what the song wanted me to do. I find when I'm writing a song, I am not the writer so much as I am a participant in the unfolding of that song. I am one part of the equation. But the song has a life of its own, and I need to be able to be in that stillness and that silence, and often spend time where I'm not really writing anything, but I'm thinking about it. And that gives me the space to really feel and really hear what the song is asking me to do for it. And again, if suddenly I'm trying to speed up that process by bringing in AI to get a lyric down or a melody down or to write a drum part for me, have I really listened, or have I just skipped that part? And in terms of other people listening to my music as well, I want them to be able to connect with me in some way. Not everybody will, but I don't want that to be because I outsourced any of it, because I removed some of my humanness, some of my limitations. Part of why my music sounds the way it does is because of my limitations. And if I have a limitation that is hindering the quality of the song, then I'm going to improve. Or I'm going to outsource that to another human being. So there's still human intention. And then it becomes collaborative. It becomes co-creation, which is something I also really, really value. I value connection highly when it comes to music and collaboration. So being able to benefit from the gifts of another person, the skill of another person, that really is very meaningful to me. But to do that by giving something to AI, I feel like at some point my songs would feel very stale to me. So when it comes to other people listening to my music, I want them to hear me with my limitations, with my flaws, because it's real and it's mine. And yeah, I want my music to sound as good as possible. But again, any limitations on that end, I'm going to have somebody else help me with. And everything else, I'm more than willing to take the time to get better. Again, because that's part of how I grow. So, final point, that was all about the songs and how I relate to them, as well as how other people might relate to them. I am very interested to hear what you have to say about AI, especially if you are a songwriter or composer who does use AI. I'd be really interested to know how you use it without sacrificing the integrity of your own artistry, as well as the integrity of the work that you're doing. And if you're like me and you don't want to use it, I would love to hear your reasons as well. Does any of what I say resonate, or do you have some other reasons? I would love to hear it. Please let me know. If you are a guitarist or a vocalist or a songwriter who would like personalized lessons that will help you find a deeper connection with your own unique musical expression, and if you'd like to be able to do that with more freedom and more confidence, please feel free to check out my lesson page. I will leave a link down below in the description. And if you are a musician of any stripe and you would like to explore mentorship that helps you to craft the most fulfilling, joyful musical experience, the most authentic musical experience for yourself, please feel free to check out my mentorship offers. I have, again, a link down in the description below if you want to check those out. And thank you so much for checking out my second vlog. I'm going to be releasing these every week, every Friday. So we'll have a little bit of a weekend music hang together. And if you are interested in checking out my blog, again, I'm going to be releasing a blog post related to this topic. It'll go a little bit more into detail. That's going to be coming out on Monday, the 8th of December. So I will leave a link to the places where you can find that. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.